Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So today, Thursday, means that we're making an update on the Bitcoin market. So it's no secret that currently the Omicron stands in the center of all headlines that we have. So yesterday it was the first detection of the Omicron in the United States, as you know. So by this reason, you can see the stock market just collapsed yesterday in the United States. But to be honest, guys, I see, or better to say, feel some artificial rush around this, some panic around this new variant, because, well, it is too many agreements around its appearing. So once Japan said that its Delta variant was mutating inside of the Japan and mutating out, as actually in Japan now we don't have any cases. It's very small, just 5 cases, 6 cases per day, so it's nothing. Once that has happened, right at this moment, immediately in the South Africa has appeared a new variant. It's very dangerous, and starts spreading across the board. So just the 70 people was deceased. It's calls around that from the big countries, let's close the borders. So it's raised lots of questions. So you said that 70 people has become ill, nobody died, and you would like to close the globe again for these 70 people. So, well, it's stands against the common sense actually, and it seems that this rush around this pandemic is still needed and is warmed up by those who are interested with that. So it's not, for me it's not very logical, and too many agreement combinations with disappearing of the new variant. So I think that this bubble should blow up very fast. So I do not think that it should lead to the really long-term consequences. Although it seems that those who need this pandemic are really trying to extend it in time. So that's what I think currently on the situation, because even if you'll take a look at the market behavior, you could see that in the morning, for example, in Europe, market starts growing. Once evening comes and United States market is opening, definitely somebody comes on the first stage telling how dangerous this Omicron is, and market closed at the bottom. On the next session, it appears everything repeats again. So just take a look at the VIX index. That you could just see what's going on. Here is the Omicron announcement. This is next session in Europe. On the next day, this is European session. American session is open. Here, as you can see, close again at the top. On the next day, market again open. Europe market is growing, coming low. On the next day, Omicron is detected in the United States. You can see it close on the weeks. So this is definitely some interventions from the verbal interventions that's trying to hold situation. People should worry about this, make people worry about this new Omicron and keep everybody in tonus of the pandemic. So what's going on currently on the Bitcoin? Bitcoin, of course, also feels the impact of these events, maybe at not the same degree as other markets, but still it has. Besides, as you know, the most mining currently stands in the United States, which is also could be important in the nearest time. On the monthly chart, we do not see something really interesting. So market stands in the range of the November. So normal reaction on the COP, nothing really new in the current situation. On the weekly chart, the price behavior that we have suggested starts to realize. As you can see, once the crabber has been formed, this is our last discussion, we said, well, here, guys, our task is trying to take the position as close to the bottom as possible. And from that standpoint, especially based on the performance on the daily chart that we have discussed, it makes sense to wait for a bit deeper retracement back inside of the body of the grabber, trying to take the position closer to invalidation point, and well, that just minimize risk if you place the stop somewhere below the 50 area. It will be better to buy lower. So currently, as you can see, this action is going on. So retracement back in the body. Grabber is still valid, so that's why we have no reasons to deny our bullish context here. And in general, while market will stand even if grabber will fail, until market stands above this major support area, it keeps the bullish context. Dropping below the confluence, moving below the 50 even area, well, this significantly increased chance of the further drop. So this is relatively simple on the weekly chart to suggest. On the daily chart, we have nothing really important. The one thing that we should worry about is the grabber that has been formed on the daily chart, and that is a bit worrying sign, is because if market will drop below this area, it's got taken out of these lows, which is simultaneously the lows of the grabber on the weekly chart. And we, of course, do not want to see this happen. But still, guys, it's not fact that this definitely will happen. And besides, you could control this via different pattern that we have currently on intraday charts as well. So mostly, since the overall performance here was in very tight range, so you can see this week market stands in a very small range. We're mostly interested with the lower time frame. So on a 4-hour time frame chart, take a look. Once again, we have the same head and shoulders pattern that could be formed. It seems that Bitcoin likes to form head and shoulders patterns very often, very much, and especially on intraday charts. And that's the pattern actually that will let you to bring some clarity to your trading. As usual, keep an eye on this level. The market has to stay above it. So drop back to these lows, promise nothing good to the bulls, and it suggests that these lows will be taken out. Whether this will be short-term taken out with a spike, or it will be real downside breakout, it's difficult to say. But in general, the failure on the head and shoulders suggests drop below this area. For us, it means that market could go to the lower support area. So if we have on the weekly chart some actual range, so this is 618 support, 51 approximately, here is 53.80. It's rather wide, and you can see the market could just move slightly lower, but it still will stand inside the major support. So it just means that market could keep dropping to the 51 if market will break this area down. So that's why this head and shoulders is very important. At the same time, if you intend to go long, this is the moment where you actually have to make the decision, because market mostly stands already in an area of the right arm bottom, and this is decisive moment. And this is also culmination point. Why? Because it lets you to place nearest stop among all the others entry points. Because you are entering on the bottom of the right arm, it means that your stop will be slightly below it. It's very small risk. So that lets you also do not deal with the weekly pattern and hide stops below the 50, because here you could use this head and shoulders pattern to minimize the risk and at the same time be possessed for a possible upward action if it will happen. So finally, on the hourly chart with the downward performance with this right arm bottom, stop placement would be better somewhere below the 55 area. So because I'm not sure, but potentially it might be the butterfly. It's 127 stands at 55, and it agrees with this natural support resistance line of the, as you can see, the head takes the shape of some kind of the double bottoms. So that's why the reversal might happen somewhere in the point where market already stands at 56 and 55. So this is the range where you could consider taking the position. Actually, taking the position you already could consider, just because it's mostly retracement is done already. But the stop placement should be somewhere below this area. Those of you who would like to go long, if you would like to go short, well, in this case you need to get clear signs that the hand shoulders is failing and will fail, and after that you could think about it. As usual, when we're dealing with the hand shoulders, once market starts dropping here, coming down to the lows, you could consider taking some limit order with the downward action, or to be possessed for a downside breakout of the head. It's probably you could use even stop sell order near the head, so as we did last time. So that's actually what we have on the Bitcoin market right now. So you can see the patterns relatively clear. So it will not be very difficult to keep an eye and monitor the situation on the Bitcoin. And depending on what market will show with these hand shoulders, it will clarify the short-term direction.